All right, we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. Good morning, everybody. Hope you all are doing well this morning. My name is Pat Kane, and with the Museum of the Grand Prairie in Champaign County Forest Preserve District, and we're here for another Mornings with the Museum program this month. And just in just a few short moments, we're going to have some staff members from the district talk about our theme this month, Summertime Sun, a very appropriate seasonal theme. And we have some awesome things to share with you about that summertime sun. But first, let's learn who is joining us for today's program. So as I mentioned, again, my name is Pat Kane. I'm the Public Programs and Visitor Services Coordinator here at the Museum of the Grand Prairie, also coordinating some other cultural and historical programs throughout the Champaign County Forest Preserve District. Pam, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Thanks, Pat. My name is Pam Leiter. I also work for, one of the staff on the Forest Preserve District, and I manage the Homer Lake Interpretive Center, which is a sister facility to the Museum of the Grand Prairie in the same Forest Preserve District system, except we're over at Homer Lake Forest Preserve, where the museum is at Lake of the Woods. So I'm glad to be here this morning.
Thank you, Pam. Marina, would you mind introducing yourself as well?
Sure. Yes. Hi, good morning. My name is Marina Montez Ellis, and I'm the Garden Program Specialist at the Museum of the Grand Prairie. I do the garden camps for the kids. Usually that's the big time during the summer. We did have a garden in a bag this year. Hopefully we'll get back to our regular camps next year. And then I have some other, garden programs that we do throughout the year, garden walks, prairie walks, and such.
Thank you, Marina. And thanks everybody for tuning in, whether you're watching live or this recorded for this program. And we'd love to hear from you. So let us know where you're watching from this morning by writing that down in the comments section below. Kathleen is letting us know she's tuning in from Canton over in Fulton County, Illinois. Had a friend who used to teach in Canton. So thanks for tuning in, Kathleen. Thanks everybody else for tuning in and watching. Also, if you have any questions for us this morning, whether it's about our theme of summertime sun or, questions about Forest Preserve District, the museum, the Interpretive Center in general, or you want to know our thoughts on the meaning of life, anything, ask us a question. When you ask us a question, it makes this program a lot more engaging and fun for us as well as you. So write in your questions down in that comment section below. We'd love to answer them as best as we possibly can. A few other things before we get started, just a little bit more about the Museum of the Grand Prairie. As Pam mentioned, we're located at Lake of the Woods Forest Preserve. If you don't know anything about us, we originally opened as the Early American Museum in 1968, and we focus on mainly, the cultural side of history over at the Museum of the Grand Prairie, but also focusing a little bit on the natural aspect of history in some of our exhibits and our programs. Pam, would you mind telling folks a little bit about the Homer Lake Interpretive Center a little bit more?
Yeah, for sure. We're a nature center at Homer Lake Forest Preserve. We have several live animals on display, including a couple turtles, a snake, and a fish. And we also have a bird feeder area with a water feature that you can sit inside and observe all the wildlife that come. But speaking of which, we're having a program tomorrow, Thursday, June 10th in the afternoon at 3 o'clock about water gardens and how to get started with one in your own backyard. So sign up for that. We'd love to see you there.
Pam, also, if folks just want to come visit the Interpretive Center, what are your hours right now, just to give folks that info?
Oh, sure. Yes, our current hours for this summer are Tuesday through Friday, 1 to 5 p.m. And we're also figuring out we have some Saturdays we're going to be open this summer as well. We're hoping to add a few more, but we're still kind of working on that due to limited staff due to COVID and whatnot. So we're still adjusting to the shifts that are going on, but Tuesday through Friday, 1 to 5 are our current regular open hours.
Cool. So get out and visit the Interpretive Center. If you're local, take a trip over there. The Museum of the Grand Prairie, we're open also. We're open from Tuesdays from 1 to 5 p.m. Every Tuesday through Saturday right now. And then, of course, all public health guidelines will be followed. If you'd like more information about how to visit the Interpretive Center or the Museum of the Grand Prairie, go to ccfpd.org to learn about our institutions as well as the rest of the district. Champaign County Forest Preserve District, of course, is located right here in Champaign County in East Central Illinois. A collection of 7 beautiful forest preserves that you can get out and explore this summer, as well as our educational institutions, the museum and the Interpretive Center, a golf course, Kickapoo Rail Trail, and a whole bunch more. So get out and see us as part of the Champaign County Forest Preserve District. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into today's content, today's program. So as I mentioned, the theme for this month, this June, is Summertime Sun, with the official start of summer right around the corner, even though it may already feel like summer here in Central Illinois. It's been pretty hot, pretty humid. You also had some great summer storms that rolled through the area yesterday. Hope everybody in the Central Illinois area and the Champaign County area is doing okay. No major flooding issues, or at least you're recovering, hopefully as best you can. But we thought that summertime sun, hopefully we see some more sun rather than rain here in the next several days with the start of summer coming up right around the corner. So we got some awesome things to share related to that big orange ball in the sky with you. So with that, who wants to go first? Who wants to talk about something related to the sun that they'd love to share with the folks out there watching?
I can go ahead and go. I can.
Okay, sure.
So I think what's most obvious is sunflowers. I know sunflower fields were a big hit last year. I know on my Facebook feed, there was a lot of people who had visited these fields. And I think sunflowers are just, it looks like the sun, and that's what it's named after. And they make people happy. So there's a picture of a sunflower. There's all kinds of different sunflowers. The sunflower is native to North America, and it's in the Asteraceae family, the aster family. So it's related to a lot of different flowers like marigolds and chrysanthemums, asters. There's also lettuce and endive and artichoke are in that family. But there are over 25,000 different species of plants in the aster. And, sunflowers, I think that they kind of cross everything. Kids like them, adults like them. And obviously, too, we can get birds and bees like them. So one of the interesting things about sunflowers, like a lot of plants, is that they are heliotrophic. And that just means that they follow the sun. And so they start from east to west and they follow the sun throughout the day. And usually the immature plants do this. As they get bigger, that seed head gets a little too heavy for it to move. And then also when it gets older, it likes to put its energy in pollination. There also actually been studies that bees like or prefer warmer flower heads. So they might go to a flower head that's been in the sun longer than one that is not facing it. And they've even done studies where scientists have purposely moved a sunflower, like a potted sunflower, away from the sun, and they notice that it doesn't grow as much, when it's not facing the sun. So obviously it's beneficial for the flower to follow the sun because it can grow better, it can develop better. So if you like sunflowers, and actually the National Garden Bureau designated 2021 as the year of the sunflower. So if you're in Illinois, we have lots of sunflower fields available. There's some one in Manuka called Heaps Pumpkin Farm. In Paris, Illinois, they actually have a maze. It's called LNA Farm. And another thing about, if you do want to visit these farms, there's kind of a window. They only bloom from like 1 to 2 weeks. And so if you want like prime pictures with these sunflowers, you have to go at a certain point. Usually it's in August, but you can go on their websites and check out when is a good time to go visit these farms. But yeah, sunflowers, I think they make everybody happy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, thanks for sharing that about sunflowers, Marina. And as you mentioned, I've seen that there's some local fields that people flock to. I know last year, and I think I heard word of another field being planted, maybe along Interstate 74, if I'm not mistaken. Do either of you know more about that?
I don't. I've not heard that, but that would be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it's and Marina, are they difficult plants to grow? Is it pretty simple, you think?
So, if you put them a direct seed, they can grow. If you have good seed, they can grow they germinate pretty fast, and they grow. They're so tall, right? They can be over 16 feet tall, and they can grow pretty fast. With the taller varieties, you may have to stake them, because they need the support. They tend to fall over. Those seed heads can be about 12 inches in diameter, and so they get really heavy, especially when they get the seeds. The only problem I've had with them, they grow really well. There's a time though when the seeds are coming out, and the birds and the squirrels like to get to them, so they'll jump on them and then they'll break the stem because it's just too much weight for them to bear. But there are ways you can stake them. You can. This sounds a little violent, but you can cut the heads off after and store it, and so that the seeds can you can harvest the seeds later. But yeah, it's always in my yard. It's a fight between me and the squirrels and the birds to harvest those seeds.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love those seeds. I used to play baseball as a kid, and always loved having a nice handful of sunflower seeds in my pocket. Some nice salty sunflower seeds.
Yes, I love sunflower seeds here too.
Oh yeah. Catherine tuning in says there are now hybridized ornamental sunflowers bred that don't have pollen, less messy for bouquets, but not beneficial to wildlife. So that's an option.
Yeah, I mean, and there's always, everybody has their own kind of how they want to harvest, or how what they want in their garden. So certainly there are options, and that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Marina. Sunflowers. It's got sun right in the name. Very much appropriate for today's theme. Let's see, Pam, would you want to go next? Talking about some great things related to the summertime sun?
Yes, absolutely. So I love sunflower seeds too. And plants love sun, but animals love sun also. So, for example, turtles really love the sun. When it starts getting warm in the spring, you'll see turtles coming out onto the logs and soaking up that warm summer sun. And what they're doing is they're warming up their bodies. They're thermoregulating. They're getting warm from that warm sun so that they can warm up. Oh, and then they jump off the logs when they get scared. So that's a little quick video from our friends at the Brookfield Zoo. And what the turtles are doing is because they're cold-blooded, they need warmth from the outside to help them metabolize their food and stay healthy and keep their body temperature in a way that's functioning really, really well. They're also drying out their shells so that any ectoparasites or any algae that is maybe built up, that helps to keep those things in check on their shells. So they love the sun. They also need the UV light as well, much like we do, to make vitamin D, to just help their immune system and to stay healthy. So they're doing a lot just by sitting out in the sun and resting and absorbing all of that good light and that warmth.
So those turtles.
Also,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say I love seeing those turtles sunning on the log and then jumping into the water, because they got a little warm.
Yeah, it's so fun to see. And you have to walk very quietly as you're walking along the lake shore to catch those turtles unaware and not scare them away and try to get close and see them. So if you're out in the parks at Homer Lake or Lake of the Woods, be on the lookout for them and enjoy watching the turtles.
Yeah. And Pam, you've also got some other stuff to share about wildlife in the sun, correct?
Yes, I do. So here is a little video of our friends called the Indigo Bunting, and I'll keep the sound low or kind of off because you're going to be talking. But Indigo Buntings they're fully blue. They're birds, and actually the coloration is because of the sun. So there's no blue pigment in bird feathers. What's actually happening is that the microscopic structures in their actual feathers that scatters light in a certain way that the only color you see coming off of that feather is the blue color. And that's why they can look brilliantly blue in bright sun, and then on a cloudy day they can kind of look kind of dark, almost black, because they don't have that sun light to refract off of their feathers, seeing the blue color.
Those are beautiful birds. Yeah, and Catherine had a question real quick. Pam, if you don't mind, back on the subject of turtles.
Oh, sure.
She said, do turtles have good hearing or sight? And what is it that startles them?
Yes, they do have really good hearing and sight. And I think they could also sense the vibrations that are coming through the ground as you're walking also. So they have that sight sense, but also that feeling of the vibrations as well. And any motion they may perceive as like a predator or something potentially dangerous coming towards them. So that's why you want to move slow and quietly.
So turtles and painted turtles and indigo buntings and their relationship with the sun. And Pam, I understand you got one more, monarch butterflies and their relationship with the sun. Yes,
for sure. So monarch butterflies, of course, are migrating north right now. And what a lot of folks don't know is that they take several generations to come north. So they spend the winter in Mexico, and they come up, those butterflies come up to Texas and Louisiana, lay eggs. That next generation from those eggs goes farther north. So we see the second or third generation here in Illinois. And then eventually all of those butterflies will migrate in the fall, August, September, and October, all the way back to Mexico to spend the winter. And what's really interesting is that the sun is one thing that people think signals them to migrate south. So right now we're almost to the summer solstice. So right now the sun is like about at the highest it's going to be here in Illinois, about a 72-degree angle, not quite overhead, not quite at 90 degrees, but more of a 72-degree angle. As after June 21st, the summer solstice, it's going to start going down as we head towards fall. So when the sun reaches about a 57-degree angle, something about that signals to the monarch butterflies that it's time to start heading south. So between that and about the fall equinox is when they are starting to head south. So they'll go farther south. And of course, the interesting thing is as you go farther south, the sun gets higher. So I kind of wonder if they're kind of staying in that sweet spot of the 57 to 48-degree angle as they're going south until they reach Mexico. So fascinating that somehow in their genetics or their biology, somehow, even though they are the second or third generation beyond the butterflies that spent the last winter in Mexico, they're still able to be triggered by that sun angle and know exactly where to go in the fall. It's just fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing to see the impact of the sun on many different aspects of wildlife. Marina talked about sunflowers and the plants, and then Pam, sharing the impacts of the sun on monarch butterflies, birds, and turtles as well. It's a huge part of our natural world and our natural life, affecting us humans as well. I notice that I feel different, and I wonder if it has something to do with that sun angle. As a human, in the summertime as well, I can feel that, you can just feel that summertime feeling, I guess. Yeah. And maybe it's just because of, where the sun is positioned, so. Okay, well, thanks, Pam. Thanks, Marina. Let us know if you have any other questions as they show up, as they come into your head. You know, we'd love to answer any more questions that you have. I'll share one final thing here today before we wrap up in just a few minutes. So Pam and Marina talking a little bit more about the natural world and the summertime sun. I thought I would wrap up with a nice little message that features the sun. One piece from our museum's collection is this particular artifact right here. So the Museum of the Grand Prairie has a number of postcards within our museum's collection from a number of different folks and donors. And this is a really unique and interesting one. And it has the sun right there in the center. So this is a postcard from our Cheesebro collection, which is the collection that is part of our Blacksmithing on the Prairie exhibit. It was a collection that was donated to the museum in the 1990s from the Cheesebro Blacksmith Shop and the Cheesebro family, which are from Sonneman, Illinois, and Livingston County. And it's a large collection of items, not only from their blacksmith shop, but from their family's history, the Cheesebro family. And this was a postcard that was sent to Catherine Cheesebro in 1907. And what's interesting, you know, it has this cool, image on the front. It says, "Holy smoke, old girlie, where have you been keeping yourself?" It looks like somebody who had, a liking to Catherine sent her this postcard, but it's made out of leather. It's not a paper postcard. It's actually made out of leather, which is really cool.
So is it like burned in there? Is that what it is? How?
Yeah, it looks like that's how they were able to etch the words and the image in there. So a little bit more difficult than maybe drawing on there, but it was imprinted or burned on the surface there. So that's pretty cool. And the back side of the postcard, we're able to identify where it came from. So it was to Miss Catherine Kaiser, her maiden name, as part of the Cheesebro family, but it was postmarked from El Paso, Illinois, and also Secor, Illinois. These two towns located in Woodford County, a little bit farther north of us, Woodford County being in between kind of Peoria and Bloomington Normal, that particular area. And we see a stamp on here, 1 cent postage stamp with Ben Franklin's picture on there. So this postcard sent to Catherine Kaiser as part of the Cheesebro collection here at the museum has a picture of the sun on there with an interesting message on there. So I figured that would be a nice way to end today's program, all talking about the summertime sun. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you have any other questions or would love to come and see us at the Museum of the Grand Prairie and Homer Lake Interpretive Center, as Pam and I mentioned, we're open right now. Check our website, ccfpd.org, for more information on open hours and when to visit and what to do to prepare yourself for that visit. So until next time, we will see you again for another Mornings with the Museum program next month on Wednesday, July 14th, where our theme will be sports stories, where we'll talk about local athletes, local sports-related history in the month of July. So for Pam, myself, and Marina, we'll see you another time. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning and for watching.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.